Today, we will be presenting on breaking down barriers, small business financing. We have two panelists with us, Bryce from TMC Financing and Anna from TMC Community Capital. So I wanted to thank you all for joining us today. Just to give you a brief agenda, first we'll be hearing from Anna regarding TMC Community Capital products, as well as her insights as an underwriter. And then we will be hearing from Bryce regarding TMC financing products and his insights as well. We plan for the last 10 to 15 minutes of the session to include Q&A. So if you have any questions during our presentation, feel free to type your question in the Q&A box and we'll be able to answer that at the end. So without further ado, I'll pass this over to Anna to start the presentation.
Great, thank you, Asia. So as Asia mentioned, I am Anna. I'm the program associate and am the loan underwriter for TMC Community Capital. Our mission is to provide fast, affordable online financing, foster financial stability, encourage entrepreneurship among women and small businesses. Our loan amount, so I'm going to talk a little bit about our microloan program, then I'll go into eligibility and talk a little bit about what you can expect to provide when you are applying for a microloan. Most often applicants for microloans are new to small business loans, so that's why I try to provide a little bit more context around what our criteria is and help you understand the process if it's something you've never gone through before. So our loan amounts range from $5,000 to $50,000 on a repayment term of 2 to 5 years and interest rates of 6 to 9%. Upon approval, you can receive your funding within 5 days. We strive to make the process as quick and easy as possible, and to do that, we have an online application portal which kind of takes you all the way from start to finish. Right on that platform with a single login. So you'll do your application there. You will sign legal loan docs on that same platform, and then we will service and take repayments on the loan there as well. All right, so our basic eligibility criteria is that you must be a for-profit California business owner. Your business must be in operation for at least 12 months, and the business must not be in the adult entertainment or cannabis industry. So the microloan difference, how it differs from standard larger business loans, is that we look at the whole picture. So we'll take a look at both the business's ability to repay the loan in addition to the personal ability to repay the loan. And while other business loans do this, and it's helpful to have a strong individual ability to repay with the personal guarantee, with micro lending, it's often businesses that are really small and perhaps don't have the ability to repay the loan in its entirety. So that's why we really look at the household's income. So we would want to understand whether the applicant and the owner has additional household income outside of the business income. We would look closely at personal household expenses, both business and household rent, any other debt repayments, and just look at the whole picture there. So expect to provide some personal financials and stuff like that when applying to one of our loans. So our goal is to make this assessment of your ability to repay with as little documents as possible. And the smaller the loan, the less documents you'll need to provide. But in order to make this assessment, we use what we call the 5 C's of microlending. cash, credit, character, collateral, and capital. So I will dive right into what each of these are and the types of documents that provide this analysis of each of these 3 C's, so that you'll need to provide when applying for this loan. Cash is your basic repayment ability, and documents that assess this C are bank statements, tax returns, and personal financial statements, like I just mentioned. Credit is more straightforward, and this is really just taking a hard look at your credit history and your credit report. We look at history of repayments. We look at how if there's any delinquencies or any other red flags, but be aware that we do have no minimum on the credit score. So what we strive to do here is understand reason for potentially a low score. And there are obviously a number of factors that contribute to a low credit score. And we like to take the time to understand the reasoning behind potentially a late pay or a delinquent account, because we understand that things come up and that can affect that score. And we also know it doesn't define the whole person. All right, so character is kind of the most ambiguous C of these 5 C's. We do pull a background check, but we take a good look at that, but we don't disqualify based on a straightforward blemish on your background check. So we do not accept anyone who is convicted of a felony involving fraud, bribery, embezzlement, or a false statement in a loan application or on an application for federal assistance. We don't accept anyone with a felony within the last year. But other than that, we would, we accept what is on the background check. And just similar to the credit check, we would seek to understand the circumstances behind anything that might crop up. Another great indicator of character is the business plan, and we really, really appreciate seeing a strong and well thought out business plan. So keep that in mind as you put together your application materials. And then we have collateral, and this is what backs up our investment if the loan goes into default. We do try to take a look at what collateral you have to offer. However, in most cases, we will not take formal collateral on a loan. And taking formal collateral would mean that we would file a UCC lien on business assets, meaning that we could repossess those business assets if your loan went into default. However, unless we are financing equipment or some other hard tangible asset, we will not be taking a UCC lien. And then lastly is capital, and this can also be called the equity that the owner has in the business. So we really look at how much you as the borrower and the owner have put into the business. And this shows that you have some skin in the game for making the business a success. And the more equity you have in the business, the stronger the loan looks to us. So that is it for our 5 C's of microlending, and I hope it gives you kind of a good overview of what goes into this process for the application. Other than that, we encourage you to, so essentially the application process starts by you filling out a pre-qualification survey, which is up on our website, and we'll get at some of these basic eligibility criteria, as well as speak to how, if your business has been impacted at all by the pandemic, which we know so many businesses have. And it is important for us to understand the nature of that impact prior to diving into the full loan application. Once you are approved via the pre-qualification, then I'll send you the link to the full application, which will take a little bit longer and require you to upload a lot of those supporting documents that I just mentioned. Then once that's complete, I will be in touch and work with you to provide anything else I may have questions on or need, and work to make this financing and this loan a reality for your business. Thank you.
Alrighty, thank you so much, Anna, for that portion of the presentation. So now we'll go ahead and transition into hearing from Bryce about TMC Financing's mission statement and the loan products that they offer.
Great, thank you. So I am Bryce Fennell. I'm a business development officer with TMC Financing, and TMC Financing has been around for almost 40 years now. We're the #1 provider of SBA 504 loans in California and Nevada, and we've funded almost $10 billion across California and Nevada for 6,000 businesses. So really, we're here to help small businesses, grow their business and help generate job growth. That's really our goal. So there's two primary loans that we focus on. One is the SBA Community Advantage Loan, which I'm about to talk about right here. And the next is the SBA 504 loan. So the SBA Community Advantage Loan are typically for loans a little bit bigger than the microloan. It kind of starts off where the microloan ends. So anywhere from $50,000 to $250,000. The loan terms are typically 7 to 10 years, just because it's a little bit more expensive and you may need a little bit more time to pay it off. Rates on these types of loans can be as low as 6. It can go a little bit higher as well. Usually they're tied to the prime rate, which is published online. You can search prime rate, and you typically add 2% to that rate. And that's kind of the typical interest rate for these loans. These are quick, simplified loans. You kind of have the same loan principles as a microloan, same kind of application. And really what these loans are used to do is to fund kind of the working capital of your business, renovations, and some of the smaller equipment purchases that you may run into. And the SBA 504 loan, I'd say, is our primary loan product. And really what this is it's used to buy the building that your business operates out of. So it's really a real estate type of loan. It can be used to acquire large equipment as well, but usually it's involving buying land, buildings, and refinancing those. So we have a few different options, a 25-year option, a 20-year, and a 10-year option. And really there's no limit on the price of the building. I would say our average loan is about $1 million to about $5 million. And what's great about this is there's no lien on personal property. So the building itself is the collateral. Ready for the next slide. And this really is a great job of breaking down the program. And the way it works is a bank. So any bank you bank with, whether it's Bank of America, Bank of the West, Wells Fargo, Fremont banks, and the smaller banks, they do a typical conventional loan, which is going to be 50% of the total purchase price. We at TMC Financing do a second loan, which is 40% of the purchase price, and the owner typically comes down with 10% down payment. And what's great about this is with 10%, you can really keep a lot of the money in your business to grow your business, hire employees. And the interest rate on these loans, when you blend the two, the bank loan and the SBA loan, is going to be a below market interest rate. So typically, right about now, it's about 3 to 3.5% when you blend the two together, which is a very low fixed rate financing. So it really is a great way to control your future by owning your building and not having to worry about 3% rental increases every year. These are largely fixed rate loans and are great for really keeping small businesses in the community and not having them priced out because of rent increases.
All right, excellent. Thank you, Bryce, for giving us that wonderful information about both of those loan products. So I'm going to go ahead and move into the Q&A portion of this presentation. I'm starting to see some questions already, so feel free to keep adding them in the Q&A box, and I will continue to moderate the session. So We have one question from Hannah. If I were TMC Community Capital borrower, are there any other programs that you offer? So Anna, that's a good question for you.
Yep. So if you become a TMC Community Capital borrower, we provide a lot of additional supportive services to you to help keep your business thriving. One of the neat things we have recently started is a community hub for all of our borrowers to engage with one another around topics, small business topics and small business loans on that online platform and community. We also have provide some publicity for your business by sharing our loan recipients through our channels, social media, and even through events we're hosting. We like to always build up the businesses we're working with. In addition, we have a service called Dream Builder, which kind of helps you develop more of a business plan and go through a step-by-step process to continue to grow and help your business thrive.
Excellent, Anna. Thank you for that. So we have an additional question of if I wanted to meet with someone in person from TMC, where are you all located? So that's a good question for Bryce. Is TMC Financing currently meeting with potential clients in person, or how are you all handling that?
Yeah, for TMC Financing, we're definitely more than willing to meet in person. Typically, our office is located in Oakland, and we can meet in Oakland, or we can meet, maybe at our public restaurant or wherever kind of works for you.
Okay, and what about for TMC Community Capital?
Yeah, so we are designed to be more of an online lender. And so we would try to probably set up a phone or Zoom interview first, or meeting. But, and since we are such a new organization, I won't say that we would never do that, but we have, to this point, we have yet to meet with anyone in person, but we would definitely talk about accommodating that. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. We have an additional question. Does TMC have an incubator process for businesses not quite qualified for microloans?
Yeah, so we do not have an in-house incubator. We are a pretty small staff and don't offer robust one-on-one technical assistance business coaching. However, we have a lot of strong connections with small business development centers, women business centers, as well as any other TA providers like Renaissance Entrepreneurship Center in San Francisco, where we can directly refer loan applicants to a business advisor that would help get them loan ready. I just sent an email yesterday making that connection for an applicant.
Great.
I'd also add that, for SBA 504 loans, we also recommend the Small Business Development Center through the SBA. They can help a lot with your resume, your business plan, projections. There are a lot of great resources, and that can be found at the SBA's website. If you just Google, Office of Small Business Development Centers, and there's a lot of great resources online for that.
Great, thank you both for that. So for TMC Financing, if I was a borrower approved for a loan, how quickly would I be able to receive funds?
So I suppose that would kind of come down to which loan product you used. Mm-hmm. Usually for a Community Advantage loan, it can be done relatively fast, a few weeks, maybe less. For a SBA 504 loan, usually that kind of comes down to your purchase agreement of the building you're gonna purchase. Typically, to purchase a building, it's about 45 days for financial contingency and about 60 days to close escrow. So hopefully that answers your question.
Okay, great. And then I have a question for both of you. What are some industries, just to name a few, that you have lended to in the past?
We are kind of all over the map. So I think each one of our loans has been in a different industry, which is great and exciting. We have two in the retail space. One engineer, one in kind of media and music industry, one in the medical field. So, yeah.
And I can jump in here. So because TMC has been around for 40 years for the 504 and community advantage section, we've pretty much lent to every industry out there. I would say really cannabis, anything adult entertainment. Those are the two kind of main areas that we're not allowed to lend to. But we've done loans from daycares to assisted living facilities to hotels. You name it, that's an allowed use, we can lend to that industry.
Great. And another question for both of you. As we all know, that when it comes to small business loans, there are some underrepresented groups who tend to be left out of the conversation. So how do you think, how well do you think TMC Financing and TMC Community Capital provide economic justice and ensure that their products are bringing equity and really targeting those underrepresented business owners, primarily business owners of color and women-owned businesses?
Yeah, I can start. I believe that, that's really core to TMC Community Capital's mission. And one thing we tend to look at is whether applicants would be able to receive financing elsewhere, bank financing or otherwise. So we try to reach the group of applicants that aren't able to get traditional financing through a bank. Another thing that I think we do to reach this market is by not having a minimum credit score. A lot of larger, quicker online lenders tend to use certain algorithms to make their loans quick and easy, but this often comes with a lot of limitations around credit score or equity in the business. And assets. And by doing this really hands-on approach with our applicants, where we understand the whole applicant and their history as an individual person, we really can support them in the way that is best for them. I will also say that we did a grant program earlier this year for small businesses in Los Angeles, Oakland, and San Francisco. And we were able to target our services in a way where 30% of our grant recipients were Black, and out of 184 recipients, 88% were minority-owned businesses. So I do believe that we're reaching those audiences in those markets in order to help communities that have been traditionally underserved by standard lending practices.
Great, thank you, Anna.
Yeah, and I would agree. I think that you did a great job kind of covering a lot of the community outreach we do. And I know we're always looking for more ways to connect and always open for more recommendations of how to really share the message of the great benefits that these SBA programs offer for everyone. So I think that I know we're always trying to help and looking forward to doing more of these webinars and really trying to reach out to everyone.
Yeah, excellent. And just to piggyback off of that point, if you have any feedback about webinar topics in the small business realm that you would like us to cover, feel free to email us or even put a message in the chat box and I'll go ahead and mark that down because we want to make sure that we're presenting content that you all are interested in. So let's see, we have another in the chat box. Linnell says we're doing a great job. Thanks, Linnell. I also wanted to give a shout out to the Oakland African American Chamber of Commerce. Thank you so much for promoting this webinar to your social channels so we can reach a broader audience. We really appreciate that. So if anyone here is affiliated with the Oakland African American Chamber of Commerce, thank you so much for joining us. And we're glad you were able to view our webinar. So feel free to, again, add any additional questions in the chat box. But if we don't have any additional questions, I'll do some brief promotion at the end. So monthly, we do a webinar called Coffee with Your Lender. Very similar to this presentation, just continuing to discuss small business financing. You can get tips from underwriters as well as other staff members in our TMC Financing and TMC Community Capital regarding small business loan products. So our next Coffee with Your Lender webinar will be on Thursday, November 10th from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I will include the registration link in our follow-up email after this webinar. I'll include the recording of this webinar in case you joined late or you wanted to review it, and a link to register for this webinar. I highly recommend it. And we also have a very exciting event coming up next month called TMC's Virtual Appreciation. It will be from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. where you will be able to virtually shop with our local small business clients, as well as interact with some of our partners as well. And so I highly recommend, if you haven't registered for this event, please go to our events page on our website at tmccommunitycapital.org/events and sign up for the event. It'll be a very memorable evening. We're really excited to present that event to you all. So we hope to see you there. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at asia@tmccommunitycapital, and I'll be more than happy to walk you through the registration process or answer any of your questions about the event. So if we don't have any more questions or answers, I wanted to, again, thank all the participants for joining us today, as well as a special thanks to Bryce and Anna for signing on and being a part of this webinar today. Oh wait, yes. Thank you, Hannah, for sharing our events page in the chat box so you can easily access it. So again, thank you all so much for joining us this afternoon. We hope to see you again soon and have a great rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you.